Welcome back to the channel, everyone. We've got some major news dropping in the world of women's basketball, and if you're a fan of the WNBA, you are absolutely going to want to stick around for this one. The league just dropped the official schedule for the 2026 season, and let me tell you, they are not wasting any time getting to the good stuff. The opening game of the entire season is going to be an absolute blockbuster matchup that fans have been dreaming about. We are talking about Paige Bueckers and the Dallas Wings heading to Gainbridge Fieldhouse to take on Caitlin Clark in the Indiana Fever on May 9th. This game is going to kick off the league's historic 30th season, and there is no better way to start things off than with two of the biggest names in women's basketball going head-to-head. Now, this matchup has been the subject of so much discussion and debate among fans, analysts, and really anyone who follows basketball at any level. The rivalry between these two superstars goes way back to their college days, and it has only intensified since they both entered the professional ranks. What makes this particular game even more intriguing is the fact that Clark and Bueckers only got to face each other one single time last season. Injuries robbed us of what should have been multiple epic showdowns, so the anticipation for this opener is through the roof. But here's where things get really interesting. Despite all the competitive fire between them, there is a real possibility that for 1 week in September, these two rivals could actually be teammates representing their country on the world stage. The history between Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers is something that basketball fans have been following for years now. Their competition traces all the way back to when Clark was lighting up the court for the Iowa Hawkeyes and Bueckers was doing the same for UConn. Those college matchups were appointment television, and they helped put women's basketball on the map in ways we had never seen before. When Caitlin was selected with the #1 overall pick in the 2024 WNBA draft by the Indiana Fever, and then Paige followed by going to the Dallas Wings in 2025, everyone knew this rivalry was going to continue at the highest level. The professional version of Clark versus Bueckers was something the entire league had been waiting for. Unfortunately, last season did not give us nearly as much of this matchup as we wanted. Injuries really got in the way, and the two stars were only able to face each other once during the regular season. That game happened on July 13th, and it was a statement performance from the Fever. Indiana dominated with a 102-83 victory, and both players showed exactly why they are considered generational talents. Caitlin Clark put together an impressive stat line with 14 points, 13 assists, and 5 steals. She was orchestrating the offense and making plays on the defensive end that reminded everyone why she was the top pick. Meanwhile, Paige Bueckers was far from outclassed, finishing the game with 21 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. She was the leading scorer for Dallas that night, and her individual brilliance was evident even in a losing effort. That single game left fans hungry for more, and now the league is delivering exactly what the people want right out of the gate. By scheduling the Fever against the Wings for the very first game of the 2026 season, the WNBA is making a clear statement about the star power these two players bring. This is not just about basketball anymore. This is a cultural moment that is going to draw eyes from all across the sports world. But here's where things take an interesting twist. While these two are rivals on the court when they are wearing their respective team jerseys, they actually have a lot of history playing together. Back in December 2025, both Paige and Caitlin participated in their first training camp with the United States Senior National Basketball Team. They were sharing practices, running drills together, and experiencing what it's like to be on the same side. This wasn't even the first time they had been teammates either. There is a real possibility that we could see them suit up together on the senior national team for the upcoming FIBA World Cup, which is set to take place in Germany from September 4th through the 13th. Think about that for a second. The two biggest rivals in women's basketball could potentially be passing the ball to each other and celebrating together on an international stage. For fans who have watched these two compete against each other for years, seeing them as teammates would be a surreal experience. It would also give us a glimpse of what the future of American basketball looks like, with these two leading the charge. Paige Bueckers recently opened up about her relationship with Caitlin Clark during an appearance on the podcast podcast hosted by Kylie Kelsey, who was the wife of retired Philadelphia Eagles legend Jason Kelsey. The podcast is called Not Gonna Lie, and Bueckers gave some really honest and revealing insights into how she views the so-called rivalry. She started by pointing out that this is not the first time they've been on the same team. According to Paige, she and Caitlin actually played together at the junior Olympic level back when they were in high school. She described those experiences as always being a fun time, which tells you that these two have known each other and had a connection long before they became household names. What Bueckers said next really puts everything into perspective. She acknowledged that the media and fans had been pitting her and Caitlin against each other for the longest time. It's the narrative that everyone has latched onto, and it generates clicks and views and engagement. But according to Paige, the reality is much different than what people might assume. She made it clear that they are cool with each other and that they are actually friends. At the same time, she emphasized that there is deep respect for the competition between them. They understand the game, they understand each other's talents, and they bring their best when they face off.
Paige also showed a lot of maturity in how she views the media's role in creating these rivalries. She basically said that they both understand how the media works and how there is always this desire to pit two people against each other. There's this expectation that rivals are supposed to hate each other and have bad blood, but that is just not the case here. According to Bueckers, all of it comes from a love of the game. They compete hard, they want to win, but at the end of the day, there is mutual respect and friendship there. It is refreshing to hear a young star speak so openly about navigating the pressures of the spotlight while maintaining genuine relationships with fellow competitors. The 2025 Rookie of the Year also had some fun with the situation, noting that it is going to be entertaining to watch how fans react if she and Caitlin end up as teammates. There are passionate fan bases on both sides, and the idea of them having to root for both players at the same time is something that could create some hilarious and wholesome moments. The fandom culture around both Clark and Bueckers is intense, and bringing those groups together for a common goal would be something special to witness. Now, while all of this excitement about the schedule and the rivalry is building, there is some uncertainty hanging over the upcoming season that we need to address. The Women's National Basketball Players Association and the league itself are currently in the middle of negotiations over a collective bargaining agreement, and things have not exactly been smooth. The players are pushing hard for a model that would include approximately 30% revenue sharing and salaries capped at around $12.5 million. They also want better conditions across the board, which is something that has been a talking point for years in women's professional sports. On the other side, the league is offering a model that would pay players more than 70% of net revenue. However, that figure comes after expenses like medical care, travel, and facilities are taken out. The gap between what the players want and what the league is offering is significant, and finding common ground is going to be essential if the 2026 season is going to start on time and without major disruptions. This is especially critical given everything that is happening with the league's expansion. Two brand new teams are joining the WNBA for the 2026 season. The Toronto Tempo and the Portland Fire are both entering the fold, bringing the total number of franchises to new heights. This expansion represents a massive investment in the future of women's basketball, and it is bringing the game to new markets and new fans. On top of that, the schedule has been expanded to 44 games, which means more basketball for everyone to enjoy. All of these moving pieces make it absolutely essential that the league and the Players Association come to an agreement quickly. Nobody wants to see a season delayed or shortened because of labor disputes, especially when the momentum around the WNBA is at an all-time high. The star power is there, the expansion is happening, the rivalries are more compelling than ever. Now they just need to get the business side sorted out so that everyone can focus on what matters most, which is the incredible basketball that these athletes are capable of playing. Looking ahead to May 9th, the anticipation is only going to continue building. Clark versus Bueckers in the season opener is the kind of matchup that casual fans and die-hard followers alike will be tuning in for. Both players are coming off seasons where they showed what they are capable of, and now they get to prove themselves on the biggest stage right from day one.
Gainbridge Fieldhouse is going to be absolutely electric. The Fever faithful are going to be out in full force, and you can bet the Dallas fans will be making their presence felt as well. This is what the growth of women's basketball looks like. Marquee matchups between generational talents, expansion into new cities, national team opportunities on the horizon, and two young superstars who understand that rivalry and respect can coexist. The 2026 WNBA season is shaping up to be something truly special, and we are going to be covering every moment of it right here on this channel. I want to know what you think about all of this. Are you excited for the season opener between the Fever and the Wings? Do you think Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers will end up as teammates on the national team this fall? And how do you feel about the ongoing CBA negotiations? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any of the latest news and updates as we get closer to tip-off.